Description: Minato Uchiha has a son, in which Horizon Saradabi, or the third Hokage, seals the full fox, and the baby's vocal cords are burned by the demon's chakra. And then read on. 1. Of Naruto. Today is the 10th of October, the day of victory over the Kyuubi no Doko, or the nine-tailed demon fox. It's my birthday today, really, the worst thing in my life. I got beat up, my beloved puppy was killed, and now I'm flying to my doom in the Valley of Completion. The rock is about 150 meters high, and I seem to be falling for several minutes. And how did I get to this point? Let's start over. Flashback. My name is Naruto Uzumaki or Uchiha. Yesterday I turned 3 years old, and the third Tomo appeared in the Sharingan. They beat me specifically. They have such a tradition. For every birthday drop me from different heights. On my first birthday, I was dropped from 3 meters, on the second from 15, yesterday from 30. I always wondered, why do they hate me? Maybe because I'm dumb? From birth, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't utter a word, in general, even laugh banally, and I couldn't even scream in pain. By the way, they beat me every 4 hours, not counting the night. They fed me once a week, with chili pepper and sauce Tabasco. Today, as usual, I went to the shelter. Then there will be a beating, and they will throw me to sleep in a dark and wet basement, with my eternal friends rats. I bring food to them, and they warm me during sleep. The symbiosis is called. I read it in a book. I can read and write from the age of 1.5. I learned to walk in 1 year. So I go to the shelter. Suddenly I hear a plaintive howl. I go into the alley, and see a puppy. He was bullied, and beaten by other dogs. I took a stick, and ran to save him. I waved a stick, and even hit one. Then they rushed off, and I picked up a puppy with a broken leg. He closed his eyes, thinking that now I would beat him. I did the same, when the NBU rescued me in a dog mask. I took 2 boards and a rope. The alleys are full of this stuff. After a few shenanigans, I took the dog, and went with him to the shelter. Approaching the shelter, I went behind the building, and opened the window that led to the basement, which is also my dwelling. I pointed to the window. The puppy realized that they were offering him to climb in. The walls were thick, so that a semblance of a windowsill was created. After the beating, I'll let him down. The puppy climbed up, but looked down and backed away. Then I gestured to him to wait 5 or 10 minutes. The puppy obediently yelped, and lay down on the windowsill. Then I went to the shelter. They beat me. I went to the basement. Everything is as usual, I thought with a sigh. After I went in, lowered the puppy, and knocked on the boards that were laid on the wet ground, called the rats to me. After that, I started pounding on the floor with different rhythms, a la Morse code. With this, I introduced the dog to them, and then I took a painted piece of paper and wrote Eiko, then pointed to the inscription. The dog barked. He liked the name. We became very good friends. Eiko could steal food from the shops. The rats got better food, just like me. They also continued to keep Eiko and me warm. I became very attached to him. So a year passed. During the beatings, Eiko hid. By my decree, I became friends with an old man named Tucci, and his daughter Aim. I also read the entire library, though then I was beaten, and thrown out by the librarian, but it was worth it, because I learned all Shinobi Academy program. This ill-fated day I was walking down the street with Eiko, or rather I was walking, and the puppy was hiding under my t-shirt. Suddenly, someone kicks me, and Eiko flies out from under the t-shirt. I knew the demon had someone, said the guy with fangs on his cheeks. On the neck of this guy sat my aide. After the beating began, and when I could no longer move, this guy said, "Kiba, hold this little thing." This guy said as he handed the kunai to the guy around his neck. "Now kill that little demon's dog. She's as bad as he is." This Inuzuka said. Not him. It flashed through my mind, how this guy picked me up, and made me watch this Kiba, stabbing a kunai right into Eiko's heart. My heart sank. I wanted to escape, but I could not. I closed my eyes, and felt a strong discomfort. I did not feel this after I was knocked out. I woke up and realized that I was being shaken. I opened my eyes, but did not have time to see. I only heard 4 male voices, and 1 child's. End flashback. And here I am, falling down. Maybe it's for the best. I'll meet Eiko. My rats won't be lost. It remains only to close my eyes. But why can't I do this? Ah, I felt a strong pain in my eyes. End Pav Naruto. Tamo in the boy's eyes, along with the pupil, floated down, transforming into 9 wriggling tails, which instantly twisted into a spiral. And after Naruto's iris completely darkened, 9 tails appeared behind the boy, which formed a ball, and then he hit the water. Comment to 1. Here's a new FF. Everyone's Naruto is blind, but I'm dumb. By the way, if you are interested in how tails curl, watch the beginning of the 9th opening Naruto Shippuden. Schedule. Monday. No part. I have a rest. Tuesday. Rikudo's son. Wednesday is the best experiment. Thursday. Unimaginable power. Friday. Second God. Saturday. Psycho with eyes. Sunday is a dumb genius. Parts leave at 7 in the morning. 2. Naruto woke up in a strange place. Pipes, water, sewerage in general. The brunette felt a powerful chakra that only an idiot would not notice. The Uchiha decided to go there. He walked for about 20 minutes, and now he is standing in a huge room and sees a giant fox. Well, hello baby. With a grin smile, said the fox. Naruto just waved his hand. Then he looked inquiringly at the fox, which by the way, was without a cage. It's your subconscious, and I'm Kurama, or Kyobi no Doko. The fox introduced himself. Naruto gestured like 1 second. After a couple of seconds, megaphones appeared in the room. Check connection. I heard from megaphones. Now I can speak, although not myself, but megaphones will broadcast my thought. Again heard from the megaphones. Witty. The fox said. Why are you out of the cage? The boy asked. Well, in short, you understand, his voice comes from megaphones. Do you want to hear this story? The fox asked. The boy nodded. Then listen. Flashback. Today is the 10th of October, the day when 2 boys were born to the Hokage, the older Naruto, and the younger Menma. Classic. Biwako had already given birth. The boys were examined, and found out that the elder would not have a Sharingan. As soon as Biwako approached Kushina to examine her, the wife of the third was decapitated, and her body fell with a dull thud. Minato saw the masked man holding Naruto. Minato, Uchiha, get away from the Jinchuriki. The stranger spoke calmly. Nothing, your son is finished. Finished the masker, and threw the baby up, and then framed the kunai. Minato teleported and saved his son. But the little brunette's diapers hissed. Minato quickly got rid of the diapers, and carried Naruto to the hideout. After that, the Hokage put on his cloak, for show off, apparently, took his kunai, and teleported to Kushina, from which the demon had already been extracted. Afterwards, the fourth moved Kushina and Menma to the same hideout. Minato himself went, canonically, to fight the fox and the masked man. After Minato defeated the masker, the brunette teleported the fox behind Konoha. Minato, the fox needs to be sealed. Hiruzen shouted, holding back the fox with his staff. Yes, but to whom? Minato asked, and then remembered about Naruto, because they said that he had more pronounced uzumaki genes than Menma. I'll seal the fox in Naruto. Are you sure about that, Minato? He's your son, Hiruzen said. No one else, Minato said and used Hiraishin. After a couple of minutes, everything was ready. The fox, seeing the boy, and besides, the Uchiha, roared and tried to kill him with a claw, but Hiruzen's body stopped him. Minato. I will seal the fox, Hiruzen said. The fox's claw was at arm's length, for Naruto. While Hiruzen was folding the seals, Naruto reached for the fox's claw, and touched it with his fingertip, after which the baby bled, but he did not cry. The fox saw kindness in the boy's eyes, and no presence of fear, although the key was pressing. So that's what you are, the boy from the prophecy, the fox thought, and directed the chakra along the claw to Horizon and, taking the old man under control, sealed himself into him. Minato Fox took control of me, he sealed himself into it. He may have taken over the boy's body, Horizon said, and died. After the boy was taken for examination, and found out that the fox's chakra burned his vocal cords. Minato, I don't want, and won't live with a fox. Kushina said. I agree, but we can't kill him either. The brunette said. Then we'll hand it over to the shelter, and as soon as the fox appears, we'll reseal it, said Kushina and left, and Minato subsequently handed over the baby to a shelter. End flashback. That's pretty much how it happened. The fox said. Yes, it's a little insulting, but okay, spit on them from the high bell tower. Naruto said. Well, you get it. I expected a rush of emotions, etc. And you, I don't give a shit. The fox said. Why do I have a Sharingan, by the way? The brunette asked. You have a special structure of chakra channels in your eyes. They look like vessels, although they are stronger and wider than those of other uchiha. Kurama said with an angry last word. Okay. Naruto spoke. Oh wait, get out of your subconscious now. Kurama said and kicked the boy out of his subconscious. Naruto woke up on the beach. Go straight. The fox said. Naruto did just that, walking until he came to a cave. Come in, said the fox, and the brunette obeyed. Naruto entered the cave, and saw the red armor, Gunbei and Sith. Jackpot, the fox said with a smile. What kind of place is it? The boy asked. This is Madara's lair. Comment 2. Here's the new part, I hope you like it. Yes, if something Madara is dead. 3. Fast to the Hokage family. After Naruto was kicked out of the family, Kushina gave birth to a girl named Maiko. Menma and Maiko grew up arrogant and proud. They were considered geniuses because at the age of 3 they could speak clearly. Minato also forgot about the fact that he had another son born that ill-fated night. Now he, like everyone else, believed that he was an orphan, whose parents were distant relatives of the Uzumaki. And on this day, Minato was dying under a pile of papers that fell on him. Kushina taught children calligraphy. ANBU that were watching the Jinchuriki threw him off a cliff. I will not focus on the family of idiots, so here it is so fluently. How I hate paperwork. The Uchiha screamed. Hokage-sama, the Jinchuriki is gone, said the ANBU in the elephant mask. How did it disappear? Minato shouted furiously. You understand. Bring Inoichi, Minato said and again plunged into the sea of writing, laws and ramen, because it was already lunch, and there was still a lot of work. Inoichi arrived 5 minutes later. Minato, did you call? Inoichi asked. Yes. Minato said angrily. Check the ANBU that the Jinchuriki were watching. If they are guilty, send them to Ibiki, and call the doctors, which will prolong their torment, said the brunette, and again plunged into work. Hey. The head of the Yamanaka clan answered and left. After a couple of minutes, the ANBU that were thrown off were screaming in pain. So, now imagine how they yell, okay, and now slowly transfer to Naruto, who is also screaming in pain. What's wrong with you, baby? Kurama asked worriedly in his subconscious. Right eye burns. Naruto replied. When the burning sensation, so strong that it cannot be described, stopped, the brunette opened his eyes. The iris of his right eye was yellow. Then an old, shabby wolf, who had been kicked out of the pack, came out of the cave with a growl. Crap, cursed the fox. The boy's eyes darted around the room, Naruto's head hurting badly. He seemed to be doing the calculations. I don't know, like I saw 30 options in a second. Logically calculated, Naruto said while grabbing his head, which was hurting like hell. Take control, I don't see any other options. The brunette said. As you say, Kurama said. As soon as the fox took control, Naruto's body began to change. Fangs and claws grew, the left eye turned red, and the pupil became elongated, while the right eye remained yellow, but the pupil succumbed to chakra changes. The old wolf felt the change. The air became heavier. There was less air. The wolf began to back away, but he rested against the wall, because walking in a semicircle bypassing the victim is inherent in all Hollywood wolves. As soon as Kurama took a step in the Uchiha's body, the old man fled with his tail between his legs. The fox then regained control of his Jinchuriki. So this is Madara's lair. At least I felt his chakra when I was resealed into your mother. The fox said. Don't call her that. My parents died, and you killed them. Said Naruto went to explore the cave. He visited the mask library. There were various Obito masks stored there, from where Naruto took 2 masks, a Sharingan mask, like Obito in war, only red, without circles after Tamo, and hair is visible, and faceless with a single hole for the right eye. Next, Naruto visited a place where he saw a bunch of white creatures. Who are you? One of the creatures asked hoarsely. To which Naruto pointed to his mouth and shook his head. Can't you talk? The creature asked. Naruto shook his head. Write a name. It said, holding out a razor-sharp stone. The brunette wrote his first and last name, Naruto Uchiha. Nice to meet you. I'm Zetsu, one of the few who have grown up successfully. It seemed white as snow. By the way, Zetsu is translated as snow, a bald creature, without a lower body. Then a fox came out of the seal. So, now Naruto will speak in the subconscious, and I will quote. Said the fox. What do you want from me? Started broadcasting foxes. I do not want anything from you. Well, except to bring my lower part to me. Zetsu said. Naruto ran up to the white legs, and brought them up. As soon as Zetsu's lower body got close enough, it became one with him. Thank you. I owe you an exorbitant debt. I have been wallowing like this for more than 15 years. No longer hoarsely as Zetsu said before. Educate the kid, and consider that the debt is paid. The fox said. Well, if you need information, I can help. Zetsu said and disappeared into the ground. He appeared a couple of seconds behind Naruto. Wow. The fox said, and Naruto just looked at Zetsu in surprise. Alright Naruto, the fox and I will start your training tomorrow, but for now, go to bed. Meanwhile, in Konoha, 2 guys were celebrating the victory over the Kyobi. Still, I'm glad you survived Obito back then. Kakashi said with a smile on his face. Yes. The Uchiha answered in a somewhat abstracted tone. It's a pity Rin isn't with us. Obito said sadly. To me. Really sorry. The albino said sadly. Alright, I have to go. The Uchiha said and left. A couple of hours later in Akatsuki's lair. Start recruiting Nuknins. The man in the spiral mask said. Alright, Madara. Someone answered from the shadows. The only thing that was visible was the Rinnegan. Comment 2-3. Here is the new part. I will describe the training quickly, since nothing particularly interesting should happen. Good luck to everyone and bye. Part 4. The next day, Zetsu woke up Naruto. Naruto-sama, wake up. Zetsu said. Rise the bald Makuyui, shouted the fox in the subconscious. Naruto then abruptly opened his eyes. How much time? Sleepily asked the brunette fox. 6 a.m. The fox answered, and lay down to sleep. Naruto-sama, a large ANBU squad, has appeared in the Valley of Completion. Zetsu informed. Naruto nodded and then thought about it. Sent the ANBU to quickly seal him when Kurama revives. The Uchiha thought. Naruto-sama, it's time for you to train. Zetsu said. The brunette nodded and stood up. Then Zetsu showed Naruto the bathroom. The latter washed up, and went for vegetable, as Kurama dubbed him. Zetsu led Naruto into a gigantic hall, if one could call it that. This is where you will train. Zetsu said. So, for starters, 3 circles, 50 push-ups, squats and abs, 3 sets. Zetsu said and disappeared underground. Naruto started doing the exercises. An hour and a half has passed. By the end of the training, Naruto looked very tired, not just tired, but actually tired. Then Zetsu appeared with a huge, for a 4-year-old, and indeed, you saw boars in Naruto. Boar carcass. You are great, rest for 20 minutes, and repeat the exercises while I prepare food for you. Zetsu said. Naruto asks you not to call him that, said the fox that leaked out of the seal and flowed back. Alright, Naruto. He said vegetable with a smile, and went to make a fire, since there was no kitchen. Madara and Obito didn't need to eat. Naruto squeezed out the last of his energy, and died for 5 hours. Whoever solves the package, can consider themselves true connoisseurs of animation. So a year and a half has
passed. Now Naruto is in his usual room, namely a cave with a giant fox, depicted on the wall, curled up into a ball, and a 4-year-old boy, whose face was not visible, since he stood with his back, ran the 50th circle, then push-ups, squats, press all 800 times. Then Zetsu appeared in front of him. Report. A child's voice was heard in Zetsu's head. Still, 30 ANBU around the perimeter, do not allow you to enter, and leave the territory. 20 SEAL Masters, 40 Censors, 10 Elite ANBU. The last 3 groups, monitor the place of your death at 12 in the afternoon. There is a shift. Once a week the Hawkage comes. Reported the situation in the Zetsu Completion Valley. Okay, thanks for teaching me this technique. By the way, Naruto said. Yes, for nothing. The most important thing there is good control, and the ability to correctly transform the chakra. Rubbing the back of his head, listed Zetsu. By the way, tonight, I made a copy of the previous Hokage's technique scroll, and Konoha's forbidden techniques, said Vegetable. And on what occasion? Beside himself with happiness, since the answer itself suggested itself. The Uchiha asked. Well, you get the idea. This voice is in Zetsu's head. Today you start learning the techniques of your BMS. Whoever decrypts, that's done. BMS is like a BMS, only cooler, ordinary Sharingan. Develop your Sengen. In short, tactics in Japanese. Senjutsu, as well as elemental techniques. Answered Zetsu, watching how the 5-year-old rushes around the polygon with a mood yell of joy. First, let Kurama explain to you what BMS is. Zetsu said. Naruto descended into his subconscious. Ku. The brunette greeted him with a smile. Hi, so it's like that. All the villages have issued a law, not to seal the biju into a person with a Sharingan, because with the right sealing, that is, sealing with a Shinigami is your case, or with the seal of the 8 elements. So, when the MSH awakens in a Jinchuriki with a Sharingan, he immediately becomes a BMS. This gives him such goodies as the number of abilities that corresponds to the number of biju tails, the absence of a side effect from using the MSH, gradual blinding, passing chakra through the eyes. You increase the power of the chakra, which is twice as weak as the chakra of the biju. 2 types of Sasano, in the form of a ghostly war, and a ghostly biju, which can form a biju dama 30% weaker than the original one, and the coolest is the live pattern of the BMSH, in the form of tails, sealed in Ubiju. Kurama explained. Thank you. Naruto thanked and exited his subconscious. So, now, hold the leaves, and let the chakra pass through them. Zetsu said. Naruto pinched 6 leaves between his fingers. The first was burned, the second was wet, the third was rotten, the fourth was crumpled, the fifth was cut, and the 6th. Commentary on Part 4. Here is the new part. This story was taken for voice acting, so it will be released every day, if there is enough time, at 1800. Part 5. The last one just disappeared. Naruto was surprised, but just as he was about to finish his elemental check, the burning leaf flared up as if fuel had been poured on it. All 5 elements and gas, it seems. Zetsu said. Why do you say that? Naruto asked. Because there was a smell of gas after the disappearance of the leaf, and even the leaf with fire flared up, as if fire had been poured on it. Vegetable explained. Always amazed at your reasoning skills. The brunette said. Soon you will be better than me. Zetsu said with a smile. By the way, why do I have 5 elements? The Uchiha asked. It's simple. Minato has like a true shit knife. Uchiha Katen, as well as Daten and Raiden, and Kushina has Suiton and Fudan. Simply put, you are lucky to inherit their elements. Fox explained. I will not describe the techniques that Naruto learned, because I will give him a lot, but I will use almost nothing. I will decide along the way. In short, time skip for a year. Now Naruto was running through the forest. He jumped from branch to branch. You won't leave, mentally shouted Naruto, pursuing his goal. Here. The brunette almost approached the target. He waved his hand, and 2 blades flew out of his brown bracers, that hit the giant boar right in the head. Flashback. It was 5 a.m. The fox woke up, and saw his Jinchuriki doing something. What are you doing? Kurama asked with obvious interest. Yes, I decided to make equipment, because I want to become a bounty hunter. Naruto replied. What exactly? The fox asked. You see, I decided that kune are too pale for combat, because the enemy sees them, and draws his weapon. And if you hide them under the guise of a bracer, for example, well, that is, you run into hand-to-hand combat. Your opponent blocks the blow with your hands, not with a weapon, and right at that moment a blade comes out of your bracer and pierces your opponent's hands, just like Naruto explained. And I decided to make such bracers. I already made 2 different types. A crossbow, a hook. If you fall, but you can't grab it with chakra, you catch on and that's it. But now I'm finishing the last one, the main one. It can separate the blades using them as throwing weapon, or when directing chakra into the mechanism to be activated according to my idea. I also made my own skin from chakra isolating steel for each of the types, so that all sorts of Hyagas would not be able to see the mechanism. I also painted the mask. End flashback. Zetsu crawled out of the ground, and took the boar. After, Naruto went to the lair, where he was met by a vegetable. So, today we will master your dojutsu. Zetsu said. Naruto just nodded, and activated his Sharingan. It appeared in both his left and right eye, only the eye color was still golden. So another half-year passed. Naruto figured out some abilities of his. Mega Imbo, eyes. So far, only 6 abilities of the BMS. White Flame Control. Shuroi, same as Amaterasu Control, but only the flame is sealed for 1 day, then the seal burns out, and releases the sealed one. Original, Limbo. It is not a clone that is created in another dimension, but Naruto is transferred there. By the way, shadow clones do not roll in that dimension. Kamui. Because I wanted to. Tsukayami. Well, why not actually? Kotomitsukami. For I don't know what else to him shove in the eyes. Amaterasu. For the abilities that can be shove are running out. He also developed Sengen. Now he could calculate a maximum of 3, and a half thousand options for the development of events, and instantly choose the one that he needed. Now Naruto was getting ready for something. He put on a white sweater, and pants of the same color, white fingerless gloves with a plate on the back of his hand, brown bracers blades, a mask and a black cloak, that had the kanji shiroi with a hood. Very much I love these accessories in the form of a cloak and a hood. There was a white flame at the end of the cloak. Are you sure you've got everything ready? Kurama asked. Yes, we are ready. Naruto replied. Commentary on Part 5. Here's the new part. Come up with the other 3 abilities please. I just don't know what else to come up with. Well, the part came out small, but that's okay. It will come out tomorrow too. Good luck everyone, and I'm off to dinner. Part 6. Naruto ran out of the cave, and headed towards the Valley of Completion. It was now 11:46. He decided to eliminate the ANBU, as it might cause some hype. And the war was useless. Naruto did not care about the village, but for his activities as a mercenary, the war would have had a deplorable effect. He has been hired by hidden villages a couple of times, Taki, Otto, and even Kumo. So he would have had a hard time. The war would lead to the decline of potential buyers, and they would give a lower price for the same kills or escorts. And if the villages find out that one of the 5 great ninja villages does not have bija, right, lost. Therefore, the elimination of the ANBU was a common decision of the SLM members. Who knows that well done, which consisted of only 3. A reasonable plant, Zetsu, a man and part-time head of this council, Naruto, and a red rug, Kurama. Zetsu noticed the new ANBU in a mask crow. Apparently recently enrolled, Uchiha. Naruto thought. So you're the new one? Asked the ANBU in the dog mask. Yes. Hiding her excitement said Raven. Or Crow. Naruto did not understand how to call her correctly, but the Sharingan developed to the 3rd Tamo said that the ANBU was a genius of her clan. So, I won't kill the dog. He took me to the hospital. I feel sorry for the girl. She is worried before the first and long mission, so I'll leave her. The rest is wasted. Naruto thought as he folded the summoning seals separately with both hands. Flashback.
So, today I will teach you how to summon. Zetsu said. Is it possible to have 2 calls? Ignoring the words vegetable oil. Oh, how I wanted to write it. The Uchiha asked. Yes, you can get both sentient and not quite sentient type of summoning, such as rats, ravens or eagles. Beta. They are actually sentient, and maybe sentient. Toads, snakes, slugs or even dragons. It all depends on fortune. Create a clone. You yourself bite your finger, and run a little on the clone's hand, and then use the summon. You will be called, not reasonable. You will be called, reasonable. Zetsu said. Naruto closed the seals, and summoned a rat, and his clone an eagle. Later, Naruto learned to combine vision together, which helped in reconnaissance of the territory. End flashback. It was now 11:58. All ANBU stood at their post. Naruto parted his memories, and called for 2 eagles that immediately flew to look at the area. The ANBU stood around the entire perimeter, leaving no chance to enter the territory without being noticed. So at 12:00 the replacement came. The ANBU collect their things, and lose their vigilance. Suddenly fog rolls in, a technique of hiding in the fog plus gas, that does not harm a person when inhaled. The fighters of the elite unit became alert, and took out Tantas and Katanas. Suddenly, small bolts fly out into the neck of the 2, with which they load a compact crossbow. 2 more fell with their throats cut. The ANBU girl activated her Sharingan, but only the silhouette of the killer was visible. She already wanted to use Kato, as she heard from the sky. I don't advise using Katen, if you don't want to harm your teammates, and yourself before me. The same applies to written. The voice seemed to be spoken by two at once. Naruto learned to speak with calls. The Anbidu girl did not take risks, and ran towards the silhouette with a tanto, but when he came running, he disappeared, and soared as if it were. She ran back to the ranks. The new girl smelled blood, when all of a sudden the whole mist flared up like a match. She applied a dotan to cover herself and it helped. When the Anbidu came out of hiding, they saw a pile of burnt corpses, and a dog in a shabby Anbidu vest, in front of which stood a man, whose white suit was stained with blood. I told you it would lead to disaster, said the eagle, landing on the owner's shoulder. Who are you? Kakashi hissed through his teeth. His mask was only half intact, and his second mask could be seen. Am I a copy fox? Or began the eagle. Shiroi's Sharingan. Naruto continued in the heads of both A and BU, after which both had a ringing in their ears, and they both passed out. 2 weeks later, Naruto, as usual in the morning, went to check his letter pit in the middle of the forest. The pit was covered with a special plate of chakra isolating metal, so that all the Hyegs could not see what was there. This plate was covered with a 5-centimeter layer of earth for disguise. These letters were delivered by special deliverers. The letter arrives at a certain place, from where the deliverer picks it up. In the pit, he found a letter from the Hokage. Apparently they sold me out. Okay, it's worth reading. Naruto thought and began to read. It said that one Anbidu girl got into trouble, and needed to be rescued. The reason for his turning to the mercenary is as follows. An unknown person mowed down almost all of the most powerful Anbu, while they were on a mission. Commentary on Part 6. Here is the new part. There were few and many, most likely, errors because I wrote on the phone. Report errors, write your opinion, etc. And I continued to sleep. Part 7. Naruto decided to pompously appear in front of the Hokage, so he went into limbo mode and used Kamui. Once in the office, he began to form streaks of fire, spreading them out like cracks. Minato, seeing this picture, tensed up until Naruto appeared. Copy Fox, I presume? More approved than Minato asked. Naruto just nodded. The quest is on the scroll. Payment, 1 million Ri. Minato said. Naruto shook his head. And you are not verbose, how much? Minato asked calmly. Naruto showed 3 fingers. Don't you think it's a big amount? The Uchiha asked. The brunette shook his head. An eagle flew into the office. The cost of my services is 1 million Ri minimum, and the ANBU rescue is on the spot, which makes the mission quite dangerous. 3 or higher. Eagle said. Why does your bird speak for you? Minato asked. His patience was running out. Time was also running out. You did not answer my question. The bird continued. 4 million. Surrendered the 4th. It's a pleasure doing business with you. The eagle said, and Naruto smiled behind his mask. The brunette created a cycle of white flame, and disappeared into the Kamui. Naruto appeared already 200 meters from the target. Naruto raced through the forest. He ran when a bolt of lightning flew into the ANBU, exhausted by a long battle. Did you show off? I am still teaching you to save, and you have already spent a quarter of the chakra. Screamed the fox. Everything will be okay. Naruto replied. His eye ran around the area, while Naruto himself connected all his senses. In the end, the only option was to use Kamui and Shiroi to make the flames burn the lightning. Yes, it can. Naruto quickly used his Kamui, and then his Shiroi, a large stream of blood flowing from his eye. Lightning completely burned out. The Uchiha looked at the sender. Even during the calculation, the brunette suggested Kiba swords, because such a powerful lightning cannot be formed by a person without focusing the energy of the Raiden. It was Reiga Kurosaki, plus a couple of million Moria, a couple of tens of millions. Naruto thought, could it be the copy demon itself? or the copy fox, or Shiroya's Sharingan to be exact. Reiga said with a smile. I'll arrange a funeral for you. Kurosaki shouted insanely, and launched fireballs at the mercenary. Naruto decides to handle only the jutsu, as his bish is starting to bleed. Naruto quickly grabbed the Anbu wearing the raven mask, and jumped away from the technique that bite off a piece of wood. Quickly on a tree branch, Naruto found the Anbu sleeping. Chakra depletion on the face. Naruto thought and used the gas mist, hiding fog with gas. Reiga, on the other hand, learned Zabuza's technique. Do you seriously think this will help you? This panty technique, shouted the funeral lover. Ranmaru, do you see him? Reiga asked in a whisper. 2 red lights lit up in Reiga's backpack. Just a silhouette, this is not a normal fog hiding technique. I heard an empty voice from the backpack. Direct. Reiga whispered as he felt discomfort in his side. The sword wielder Kiba looked down, and saw a deep wound on his side. Then Kurosaki felt light. Horror appeared on his face. He took off his backpack, and saw a hole in his bottom. Anger appeared on the swordsman's face. He raised and crossed his swords. At that moment, the Anbu girl woke up and, looking around, realized that she was on a tree, but she does not remember how she ended up here, as well as the end of the mission, to spy on the place where the Jinchuriki died. Suddenly, a guy appeared next to her with a boy in his arms. On his face was a broken mask, which was covered in soot. All that was visible was a yellow eye like gold, and a black strand framing her face. Suddenly, the guy abruptly grabbed the Anbu and jumped away. In the place where they were struck by lightning, Naruto looked at the enraged swordsman, covered in soot from the fire, scorched clothes and a wild expression on his face. Die! He shouted, and a bolt of concentrated lightning rushed at the trio. Naruto grabbed both of them again, but didn't have time to leave completely, and the shock wave pushed everyone back. Naruto quickly got up and, realizing that now he would have to look for a new white mask, printed out the old Sharingan mask, in which he began the path of a mercenary. With the Anbu it was much more complicated. The porcelain mask shattered into small pieces, showing her face. Naruto got up, and realized that this was going to be much harder than it seemed. So, I have about 30 techniques in stock. Naruto thought as his eye darted across the area. 15 of them are not available to me due to lack of chakra. The girl can be a censor, so you can't take Kurama's chakra. All these thoughts raced through the boy's head with lightning speed, as if using Konoha's black lightning Hiraishin. There is one idea, though I'll pass out, but not forever, like this skin jackal, the Uchiha thought. And where did you get such name calling? Kurama asked. Not the time. Naruto replied. After, the brunette inhaled air into his entire lung capacity, and blew out the gas curtain. And then he used a rush and a fireball. The wall was blown right on Reiga, and then it flared up like a match. A flashback flashed through the head of the Anbu girl. The same flame rushed at her, and then, darkness. She woke up after a couple of minutes, and saw a little boy standing, and crying over the swordsman's corpse. Not far from her lay a guy, dressed in all white, and a black cloak with a hood. She got up, and walked over to the guy lying on his stomach. Checking the pulse, and making sure that everything is fine, she approached the boy. Hey baby, why are you crying? She began softly. Sob. He sob died. The boy said, and his cry turned into a sob. The girl hugged the boy. Hush, hush, he was a bad man. She continued in the same gentle way. What is your name? The brunette asked. Ranmaru sobbed. Whimper. The boy with light purple hair replied. And I'm Itachi. The girl replied with a kind smile. Reiga's clip is not a bad sob. It's good, it saved me, when no one cared. Ranmaru continued. I see, but he took a lot of lives, and he paid the price. Itachi said. But he wanted to add something to Ranmaru, but he began to sob again. Itachi, not knowing what to do in such situations, tried to calm him down. With grief in half, she was able to do it, but the guy still rarely sobbed. Then Itachi walked over to the boy, and rolled him onto his back. The clothes were covered in soot. Probably was too close, Itachi thought. Then she took off her hood, and saw dried streams of blood. She decided to remove the mask from the guy, as the guy's hand grabbed her hand. Commentary on Part 7. Here is the new part. I hope you liked it. Another one may come out tomorrow at 7, but I'm not sure. Part 8. Itachi looked at the boy in front of her, who was holding her hand tightly. The grip loosened, and the Uchiha removed her hand, but the boy was still passed out. Wow, the guy has reflexes, the brunette thought. She decided to wait until he wakes up, and talk to him. 2 hours passed. Naruto opened his eyes, and heard the crackling of the fire. I'm already being carried in the wrong direction. The Uchiha turned his head to the side, where he heard a familiar sound. Turning around, the brunette saw that Anbidu girl. She could have been 12-13 years old. Naruto stood up, but the brunette heard a rustle, and turned towards the sound. Naruto looked at her, something prickling in his heart. The Uchiha lowered his gaze. It doesn't seem to be pierced. Then what about me? The Uchiha thought, and heard the fox laugh. What? The brunette did not have time to finish, as he was interrupted. Oh, you're awake, Itachi said. Naruto nodded. What are you doing here? The Uchiha asked. An eagle landed on Naruto's shoulder. I was hired to save you, said the eagle. Didn't understand, the brunette said, looking at the Sharinganist, then at the eagle. Naruto made a facepalm. This is my eagle, which says everything that I order him, since I myself am dumb. The noble bird spoke. It's clear, Itachi drawled. Okay, they'll take you to Konoha. They'll pay me and that's it, said the eagle, and Naruto went into the forest. Behind me. The noble bird spoke coldly. Itachi just followed him. So 2 hours passed, as a hail of kune flew into Naruto and Itachi. Why can't everything be so simple? Naruto asked. The eagle's eye lit up with a yellow color, and it took off from the brunette's shoulder, flew off and began to circle over the battlefield. 4 in the tree, 5 in the bushes, 13 more hidden in the surface. The Uchiha thought. Well, who do we have here? Mockingly asked Shinobi from Willow. Shiroi's Sharingan himself and the daughter of the head of the Uchiha clan. The Shinobi was surprised. Such a Kage-sama will like our cat, Ibabits said with a smile. Why are you here? Taking out a kune, Itachi asked. Our spies have reported the loss of the 9 Tails Jinchuriki, and we've been sent to check the information. The Shinobi replied. Now they can't leave. Naruto thought. Come on, you Shiroi, we will pay, and we will take the Uchiha prisoner. The Shinobi suggested. Naruto just nodded at him saying how much. 6 million rya. Ibabits said with a smile. No one wants to face you in combat, added Shinobi. Naruto shrugged and walked over to the Shinobi. He gave him a case. Naruto opened it to make sure the deal was fair. After looking at everything, and quickly analyzing the height of the stacks, he made sure, and went away from there. Traitor, Itachi yelled angrily. For some reason it was difficult for Naruto, but he did it so often stop. Naruto quickly ran to the scene of the battle with Raiga. Running there, he found the body of the Nukenin, but unfortunately, it was mutilated, so that his own mother would not have recognized. No tip today, sighing loudly, Naruto thought and went to the cave. Arriving there, he opened a safe containing about 10 billion rya. Upon meeting Zetsu preparing dinner, Naruto talked to him, ate, and went to bed. Naruto stared at the wall, where he painted his first order. I didn't betray the customer there. Naruto thought. He was tormented by guilt. He did so often, abandoned the customer, in exchange for a larger amount. But here is something else. It's a shame somehow. Naruto did not understand why he was so worried about the Anbidu girl of the village, who brought him only pain. Oh, how funny it is to watch the confrontation between conscience and profit. The fox chuckled. This has never happened before. Naruto thought. Did not have. And then my adult 8-year-old fell in love with a 12-year-old. The fox neighed even louder. Meaning in Konoha. Fugaku was all on his nerves. Yes, you calm down. Minato reassured his friend. Of course. What if this mercenary killed her? Or maybe he was paid more than you promised. Fugaku said. I didn't think about that. The fourth thought. Immediately, a hawk with a tiny flower flew into the window of the Hokage's office, in which the uchihas were located. Minato unfolded it. After reading it, he told everything to Fugaku. Damn, I told you it wasn't a reliable mercenary. The Uchiha screamed. Meanwhile at Naruto, the brunette went through the stage of denial. But after 5 minutes of confrontation between the parties, Naruto came to a compromise. I'll save her, and I'll get paid another 4 million. Naruto thought and went to get ready. Taking all the things, Naruto went towards the camp. He was a good censor, and therefore calmly determined the location of the camp. Meaning in the camp. Now everyone was sitting around the fire, and eating sausages fried on the fire. Suddenly the fog rolled in. The bonfire is dead. Who dared to invade my forest? Asked a bass voice. The silhouette of 9 tails appeared in the fog. D9 tails. One of the shinobi said with fear. Itachi looked at the silhouette and was horrified. She decided to get out, when suddenly blades flew into the heads of 2 of Otsusuki. Bolts hit 2 more in the head. Suddenly the fox growled. Otsusuki prepared for battle, but then the fog cleared. It turned out to be 9 packages for corpses. Bija. What the hell is this? Said one of them, as his skull was opened by the claws of an eagle. The cry of an eagle was heard in the sky. Come out and fight like a real shinobi. Ivovitz shouted. I do it. A voice was heard among the trees, where a hail of kune flew. One by one they died until the main one remained. He tried to concentrate, but it didn't work. He was trembling like a leaf in the wind. He approached the captive and, immediately 2 katana blades escaped from his eyes. The corpse fell, and Itachi only grunted like an uchiha. Why did you come? She asked angrily. Do not flatter ourselves. They learned one information that should not be distributed outside your village. For one I will get money, said the eagle as it landed on its master's shoulder. Naruto grabbed Itachi in his arms, and teleported them to the gates of Konoha. After that, Naruto lowered Itachi's cancer red to the ground. After a couple of minutes, slaps flew into him, which simply hit the porcelain mask and that's it. Didn't you cut off your hand? Eagle asked. Let's go already. Itachi spoke angrily. Now in the office were all the A and BU, who could complete this task, as there was a knock on the door. Sign in. The Hokage spoke in a stern voice. Mission complete. Eagle said coldly. Free. Minato said to the A and BU and they disappeared. You should be on the lookout for information regarding the Jinchuriki. Willow sent spies because of this. Just like Naruto always said. Well, what about the letter from the Otsusuki? Asked the 4th. I was offered money, so I agreed, and then I would have killed them anyway. I don't need a war over weapons. This is bad for my income. Eagle said calmly. After some dialogue, Naruto went to the cave. But I still thought about Itachi. In the end, the decision was made, quite illogical, to return to Konoha under the name of Naruto Uchiha. Commentary on Part 8. Here is a new nonsense, which is usually called a part. Nothing more to write. Part 9. The next day, Naruto woke up, washed his face, and went to get ready. Zetsu, keep an eye on the lair. I'll be there in a couple of hours. Naruto yelled and entered the armory. Naruto sealed Kusari and Gunbei, then changed into black pants and a t-shirt, put on shinobi sandals, put a lens on his yellow eye. This does not interfere with tactical planning abilities. Took his first black cloak from the hook, already torn, singed, with a couple of large holes hood. The cloak is something like this in .brickall.com Lego to help us all. Naruto came out of the cave, capturing the spatial seal. The Uchiha walked for a long time, meeting various robbers on his way, whom he killed without a share of pity. His bracers, Uchiha decided to leave in the cave. And now, the gates of Konoha. There you are, a trash can called Konoha. Naruto thought as he put on his hood and walked on. Stop. Who are you, and what is the purpose of your visit? Asked one of the Eternal Gate guards, Katsu. Naruto just looked into his eyes. Come on, Katsu said in a lifeless voice. The Uchiha ran to the residence, as Izumo already suspected something. Here, the Uchiha has already run to the residence, and is knocking on the door of the Hokage. A tired come in, and Naruto is already in the Hokage's office. Who are you? Minato was already ready to take on the kune. Naruto took off his hood. Minato saw 3 stripes on his cheeks, which only Mido Uzumaki, Kushina, and the last Jinchuriki had. If that's what I wanted it so much. And the boy himself was very similar to the dead Jinchuriki. Anbu immediately appeared around Naruto. What's happened? The Hokage asked. Hokage-sama, this boy did something to Katsu Hagane. The Anbu in the dog mask said. Naruto looked at all the Anbu fighters with a calm look. Come on, he looks about 10 years old. The Hokage chuckled. Naruto showed 8 fingers. So you're dumb? Black Lightning asked. Naruto just nodded. What is your name? The Hokage asked while gesturing for the Anbu to return to their post. Minato handed Naruto a piece of paper, on which the Uchiha Uzumaki had written his name Naruto. Minato just looked at the boy in fear. He died 4 years ago. The Hokage said. Naruto shrugged and then pointed to the seal. Minato was in complete shock. But the Uchiha wanted to say something else, but the voice in his head interrupted him. Hokage-sama, I would like to live in the Uchiha quarter. A cold voice sounded in Minato's head. Who is this? The Uchiha asked, and then looked at Naruto, feeling waves of chakra from him. How do you do it? The Uchiha asked. You did not answer my question, I heard in the head of the Hokage. Minato immediately recognized the tone, but didn't assume anything. We're not an Uchiha, and how do you get money for a house? The Uchiha asked. There is money, the rest is not important. Turning his back to Minato, Naruto glanced at him over his left shoulder with his one-tome Sharingan. Flashback. So, today you will learn how to change the location of the Tamo in the Sharingan, which will help you zoom objects, and hide 3 Tamo under 1 or 2. To do this, direct and hold the chakra in the eyes, then feel the obstacles in the form of Tamo, and boost the chakra to start moving them. The fox said. End flashback. Minato was in shock. Okay, I'll talk to the clan head about it. Minato called the Anbu. Meanwhile at the house of the head of the Uchiha clan. In terms of? Itachi asked as she hid her sister, named Satsuki, behind her. I said both of you will marry the sons of the Hokage, said the head of the Uchiha clan, Fugaku. In terms of sons, Hokage-sama only has 1 son? Itachi asked. Minato adopted 1 Uchiha whose parents died. Fugaku answered. Why can't Sasuke marry the Hokage's daughter? Satsuki asked. Stupid. As the future head of the clan, I can choose for myself who I want to marry. Sasuke said with a haughty smile. I hate you. The daughters of the head of the clan shouted in unison, and scattered through the rooms. The Anbu appeared in the office with documents, and a letter attached to it. After reading the letter, the Uchiha realized that the case smells of fried, since the Jinchuriki has a Sharingan. Commentary on Part 9. Part is small. The day after tomorrow a part will be released from the phone, because a house in the village will not build itself. Sorry for delay. Part 10. Now Naruto was walking through the streets of Konoha, looking at the slight changes. They did not look at him with contempt, only with interest. Here he goes a couple more blocks, and crashes into some Uchiha. Naruto just lost his balance for a second, but the guy, who looked about 8 years old, fell to the 5th point. How dare you? I'm the Hokage's son. The guy screamed. Two more uchihas ran towards Menma. Menma, what happened? Sasuke asked. That jerk bumped into me and didn't apologize. The son of the Hokage replied. Do you know who we are? Takashi interrupted the conversation. Brother of Menma. I'm the Hokage's son. Excuse yourself quickly. Menma screamed. At this time, Itachi and Satsuki were passing by on their way to training. The eldest daughter of the head of the clan heard the screams, and decided to see what was there, while the youngest went after her. Arriving, they saw how three guys rushed at Naruto. The Uchiha Uzumaki remained calm. Menma jumped at Naruto with his fist. Naruto ducked, and Menma flew further, smashing his face into the asphalt. Next jumped Takashi and Sasuke. Naruto dodged the head son's blow, and then dodging the Hokage's adopted son's blow, intercepting his fist, and redirecting it towards Sasuke. Thus, Takashi knocked out Sasuke, and then his face was stamped into the asphalt with his foot. And I could become the same, thought Naruto, and continued to walk towards the 16th abandoned training ground, where Satsuki and Itachi were heading. Arriving there, Naruto directed his chakra to his feet, and entered the tree, and then walked along the branch, hung upside down, and began to meditate. Meanwhile, Itachi and Satsuki carried the victims to the hospital, while they themselves went to the training ground. What will you teach me? Satsuki asked with a happy smile. Walk through the trees. Itachi replied. When they arrived, Itachi began to explain how to do it. Satsuki, having accepted all the information, began to try. Each time, Satsuki made her way further and further until she reached the very top. From there, the Uchiha saw a guy hanging upside down from a tree. Itachi, there's a guy hanging from a tree. Satsuki screamed. These screams brought Naruto out of his meditation, and he jumped out of the tree as the ANBU appeared in front of him. Hokage-sama summons you, said the ANBU, and carried Naruto with a shunshin. There were 3 people in the office, the Hokage, the head of the Uchiha clan, and Naruto himself. The documents are ready. The house costs 15 million ria. Fugaku brought it with a smug grin. The head of the clan did not want to let the Jinchuriki with the Sharingan near the clan quarter, because if the foxes decide to break out, they can be accused of subordinating the fox. Naruto shrugged and opened the case with 20 million. Fugaku's eyes widened when he saw the amount of money the 8-year-old had. Minato gritted his teeth and handed over the documents. The mute bowed a little in gratitude and left for his new home. Arriving there, the Uchiha found the first cabinet he came across, and placed a spatial seal there, which, when infused with chakra, moves the user to another similar seal, installed in the lair. Then, the thought of working for the ANBU popped into Naruto's head. After a couple of hours, when the brunette moved some things, namely a mask, a cloak and bracers, to his new 2-story house, the Uchiha headed to the residence. There, as usual, Minato was sitting on the edge. Naruto? Why did you come? Black Lightning asked. I'd like to join the ANBU, came through Minato's head. You do understand that they don't take you there for a pretty face, do you? The Hokage asked mockingly. I know bookmarks for stupidity don't work for me. Naruto said. Well, you get the idea. Then Minato trembled, and remembered how all the mentalists just died penetrating into the subconscious of the guy. Well, come tomorrow to the 10th training ground. There will be a fight in which you will show your abilities, and then theory. Minato said. Fine. Naruto replied and left the room. The 4th called the ANBU to fetch Fugaku. After a couple of hours, everything was agreed. The plan was as follows. They put Itachi against Naruto, as one of the most powerful ANBU. If Naruto by some miracle passes, he will be asked questions that not every Jonin will answer, and if he passes this test, he will be told unfortunately there are no masks, and thereby delay his admission to the ANBU. The next day, Naruto put on his bracers, and went to the training ground where Fugaku, a clone of Minato, an ANBU girl in a raven mask, and an Anbiru in a cat mask were standing. Naruto went to the range, and the cat started talking. "And so, I will be the judge in this fight," said the cat. 3-2. 1. Fight. The Anbiru yelled and jumped back. Commentary on Part 10. Here is the new part. Sorry for the delay. I'm not used to writing from the phone. I hope you liked it, but those who write that it's not enough, I'll add it to the emergency, because they're sick of it. Part 11. Itachi rushed towards Naruto, and tried to land a kick, but it was blocked. Then Uchiha quickly tried to land a punch, but her punch was caught and pushed away. Uchiha understood that the guy was not simple and decided to use jutsu. Kato. Fireball. The Uchiha shouted, and a ball flew into the guy. Kato. Armor a hell. Naruto said calmly in his head. This jutsu, which requires little chakra, calmly protects against the jutsu of a rank or lower katan, while she herself is invisible. The ball hit right on target. The Uchiha, like the Hokage, was worried, but when the fire dissipated, and Naruto stood unharmed behind him, the girl relaxed for a moment, and then tensed. Shisue and Itachi, who were shocked by the cruelty of a guy sitting quietly on the corpse of a bull, and wiping his katniss from blood. Passing through the battlefield, the girls looked at him. Someone is lying with their entrails released, someone with a pierced head, someone with severed limbs, someone was even planted on a branch of a lonely standing tree. Well, mission accomplished, so we can go, Shisue said. The guy shook his head, and pointed to the iron sheet that lay on the ground. Upon opening it, all three felt a huge source of chakra, and it wasn't a lot of people, it was something, or someone with a huge supply. Commentary on Part 12. Actually, this fic will come out more often than others. This group is not Akatsuki, if anything. Part 13. Commentary on Part 13. The chapter is written. Please read without noticing the details, since this chapter does not affect the plot in any way. Practically. Suddenly, there was a formidable furious roar, similar to a tiger. There was an explosion, and the ground under the Anbu shattered, and they jumped away. In the resulting crater, was a huge tiger, slightly smaller than Gamabunta in size. Shiro. A loud cry of a fox, was heard in the brunette's head. Kurama, who is this? Naruto asked. This is Shiro, the call of the head of the Uzumaki clan. Apparently, he was caught, and since he is the call of the Uzumaki, they have a lot of chakra and stamina, so they cannot teleport back, and the world of their call itself is connected with the clan. If there are only a few Uzumaki left, then the tigers are left units. Kiabi explained. Remind me, this is my first summon beast, right? Naruto asked. Well, yes. I understand what you're getting at, Kurama said. The Uchiha disconnected. The conversation took less than a second. Naruto's Delo quickly ran across the area. Sure death, certain death, certain death, Naruto thought. Suddenly, the guy noticed that Shisue and Itachi were not in a very advantageous position. He quickly created a shadow clone and used Kamui. Note: Naruto can only use Kamui in places he can see, but this rule is pretty vague, since he can see through summons. The guy quickly took out his katana, jumping away from a stone flying nearby, flew straight at the tiger. He quickly beat off the guy, flying at him into the ground with his paw. Naruto quickly used his Kamui to get taller than the tiger, but the tiger pushed him away with his growl. The tiger charged at Naruto, and began to attack with its paws. The guy was still calculating the possible options for events. It was impossible to stop, and all the options were somehow too destructive. And now, catching his eye on the right tactics, the guy moved from attack and defense to pure defense. The attacks of the tiger were quite strong. Naruto barely dodged, but he was still not out of breath, and continued to lead the tiger to the right place. The tiger attacked furiously without ceasing, huge paw prints left on the ground. Itachi and Shisue wanted to rush to help, at least Shisue. The guy skillfully evaded attacks, And now, having brought the tiger to a fairly clean clearing, the guy activated the Biju Sasanu. Now a huge golden tiger with black stripes all over his body was standing in front of an equally large black nine-tailed fox with completely red eyes. Both rushed at each other. The tiger let out a roar of chakra, which was intended to knock back the enemy, but one of the fox's paws was replaced by the hand of a ghostly warrior with a shield, and repelled the attack, and then turned back into a fox paw. The ghostly fox dug its fangs into the tiger's neck, and chewed off a decent piece of meat. The summoning beast roared in pain. The ghostly fox released a stream of gas. Shuroi. The gas burst into a white flame, and enveloped the tiger. Naruto was forced to deactivate his Sharingan, since his body was not developed enough to use BMS. Can use several techniques, but then his eyes will hurt a lot, and he will bleed, which is not good. The flame immediately went out. When the Sharingan is deactivated, all jutsu oozed by it disappear. The scorched beast fell on its side, and began to breathe rapidly. Naruto walked over to him, and saw the fear in his eyes. Naruto swung two katanas. The tiger closed his eyes, and his life was cut short. On katanas, an engraving in the form of a tiger appeared. Flashback. Naruto was on another mission in the country of water, from a customer, who didn't introduce himself. The only thing that was visible was a huge sword hilt under his cloak. Within a couple of months of work, he began to notice changes in himself. He was drawn to money more and more. He took on more and more assignments. He worked with a couple of mercenaries, one of whom was a strange man named Kakazu. They met on the same mission. The customer betrayed them, but they dealt with the guards, killed the customer, and divided the jackpot by the sexes. And here he is walking through a field littered with corpses. His task was to take one ancient artifact from the temple, but the guy saw only corpses. He dealt with a whole mini army of robbers, but did not find the temple. Suddenly, the ground beneath him falls through, and he finds himself in a strange place. Huge columns propped up the earth, so that it would not collapse, but a huge charge of methane collapsed the columns, and the earth along with them. Going a little further, the young mercenary saw an ordinary Japanese two-story house. He quickly went there, and saw the stone guards. Look, now they will come to life and attack. I can smell it with their undertail. The fox said. Catch what? I don't understand Jinchuriki. Yes, ass. The fox said. As soon as the fox finished speaking, the sword of one of the statues lowered, and she herself began to make sharp movements, as if the mechanism did not allow for the usual smooth movements. Here the statue came down from the pedestal, and sharply turned its head to stare at the guy. Naruto quickly looked around at the rest of the statues with his Sharingan, and couldn't find any chakra, when this one had at least Kamui, and Shiro, and use it endlessly. Let me remind you that these techniques eat a lot and more chakra, so they can only be used 3 times per battle, otherwise the 4th will be fatal. Yes, burn it and that's it, the fox shouted, adding his chakra. Well, in principle, he is quite good at kenjutsu, since he was given a sword, and I never used the training from the renegade samurai brother Miffin. Naruto replied the fox. Oh come on, I'll play and destroy, said the guy. As you know, but if you get into some kind of trouble, then you will rescue yourself, without my prompts and chakra, said the fox, instantly evaporating his chakra from the uchiha's body. Agreed, the young mercenary said, and took out his rusty cracked katanas that passed through the earth, fire, water, lightning and wind. As soon as the guy jumped onto the stone statue, her sword instantly broke both of the brunette's swords. Naruto activated the BMS, and burned the statue in a white flame. Further, the guy just walked down the corridor, and saw 2 scabbards in which there were katanas. He quickly ran up, and took the scabbard. And it's all? Naruto thought. Think what you say. These are Jikoto katanas, the ancient swords of the Rain Village. They can absorb the chakra of creatures you killed, or objects that had your chakra, adopting its properties up to the elements of the chakra absorbed by the sword. Even genomes can be used, but you need to learn how to stack seals with one hand. Kurama explained. Clear. The Uchiha replied, and sealed the scabbard. Suddenly the earth trembled. A huge piece of the roof fell on the guy. Falling on Naruto, the piece began to be pressed down by others. Thus formed a large pile of debris. When everything calmed down, the debris scattered, and a black ghostly fox roared out from under them. The way back was already much easier. Arriving at the place, the guy opened the scabbard. Just then, a huge sword flew at him. Kabikurbacho, Naruto thought. The customer landed on it. I have been looking for these blades for a long time, said the customer. Naruto remained calm. Immediately, he was covered with ice, and he himself felt that he could not move. Haku, take Chikoto away. The swordsman ordered. Eat, Haku said. Here he already approached, and tried to take the scabbard, as here, he fell. Haku, Zabuza said. Then he quickly jumped off the sword, and rushed at the guy, but fell, and his sword flew into a piece of ice and broke it. I will spare you. You pointed me to those blades, Naruto said and left. End flashback. Part 14. After the battle, the team headed to the village. Oh, I just remembered. Areto and I agreed to train together, Shisui said. Seriously? Itachi asked. Yes. We have already agreed with his team, Shisui replied. Okay. Itachi said. What do you think, Naruto? Shisui asked. The guy just shrugged, showing that he didn't care. Well then, tonight, Shisui said. Naruto came home, went into the closet, and found himself in a Narnia cave. Hey Naruto, Zetsu said. Hello to you too, Zetsu, Naruto said. I train, said the brunette, and went to the part of the cave where the training ground was. And so, began the fox. You need to channel your chakra into the blades, and force the tiger's chakra into your chakra channels. Also, swords generate absorbed chakra, so it cannot end. Understood. Naruto replied and channeled his chakra into clicks. How could he get out of the fire unscathed without dodging? The brunette thought, but not having time to get rid of her thoughts, she received a blow to the stomach. Itachi flew off into a tree, and knew it was time to get serious. She quickly dodged 2 subsequent blows, which were rather weak, because they did not appear on the tree they hit. The girl began to attack. Wait, Ku, did we close the safe? Naruto thought as he dodged another blow from the Uchiha. I don't remember, it seems like yes, although I don't remember. Kurama replied to his friend. Naruto also thought of his own, easily evading blows. So, stop. My loot. Naruto quickly dodged another blow. Itachi. The brunette quickly deflected the subsequent blow to the side, and threw the girl back. So, quickly win the fight, and go check the safe. The guy thought. I'm tired of playing with you boy. The Uchiha said as threateningly as possible, for clan pride did not allow accepting defeat from the 8-year-old. The Uchiha activated the Sharingan. Ooh, action flowed through the pipes. Kurama said. Naruto quickly dodged the lightning strike. The guy smiled slightly. He decided to go for taijutsu. A couple more shots were blocked. For the guy it was like a game in which he was winning. Itachi was starting to get angry. She began to put chakra into her strikes, and her movements only became even faster. Okay then. Naruto closed his eyes for a moment. Opening his eyes, the lens that painted the guy's eye black flew out and shattered. Wait, I remembered Zetsu was closing the safe. Kurama said. I see. Thanks, the brunette replied, and continued to pathetically look with his 3-volume Sharingan. Itachi just clicked, and began to fold the seals. Kato, Phoenix Flowers. The Uchiha screamed and threw shurikens. A volley of shurikens, engulfed in fire, flew at the guy. Okay, I'm fed up. Naruto's voice was heard in everyone's head. All the shurikens disappeared into the spiral funnel. Minato was about to greet Kakashi or Obito, but he didn't see anyone. Then, the Hokage glanced at the Jinchuriki, in whose red eyes, 9 tails wriggled aimlessly. Itachi looked at him in surprise. He just stood, not defending himself, nothing, just stood. She decided to take action. A jerk, and now she is already behind the brunette's back, swinging her leg to strike, but then she is blocked by a pitch black tail, and throws it back. Yes, both Susanoo and Naruto are black. Minato reached into his pouch for paralyzing seal, but there was none. Itachi decided to use genjutsu, but to no avail, just wasted chakra. Then, there is only one solution left. I give up. Itachi raised her hand. Why not? Asked the fourth. I don't have much chakra left, and even more so, I won't be able to compete with someone like him. Starting to leave, Itachi said, I would be glad to see you in our ranks. With a kind smile, the brunette said and left. Should have waited for Shisue. Minato thought. Okay, now the theory. Follow me. And you, cat, are free. The Hokage said. Hey. Tenzo said and disappeared into the shunshin. After the theory, namely a couple of biographies of not very distinguished shinobi, mathematical problems that the guy always answered 100% correctly. That's right, that's all. The masks are over, and without them you won't join the ANBU. Minato said. Naruto just opened the Sharingan mask, and showed it to the fourth. The Hokage remained in mute shock. For Naruto's age, the guy was very prudent. Well, they're accepted. Tomorrow is the introduction to the team. ANBU tattoo stuffing, etc. Minato said, and still being shocked by the foresight of the boy, he left the training ground. Commentary on Part 11. Whoa, in the new part, I don't know how to mobilize my workflow. So until the next part. Part 12. After the fight, Itachi met up with Shisue, who returned from a mission a few minutes ago. Hello, Shisue. Greeted Itachi's friend. Hi Itachi. Shisue said. Itachi noticed a slight blush on Shisue's cheeks, but didn't say anything. So how was it for you on your mission with the Senju? Asked the head's daughter. Shisue blushed even more. Come on, when? Itachi continued cheerfully. Well, remember, I said that I like Areto Senju? Shisue asked her friend. Yes, Itachi answered, but after a little thought she added. Come on. Was the wolf really the object of your love? Yes. Shisue replied. By the way, since we started, how are you? Itachi instantly frowned. Father wants to marry me off to Menma. Itachi said sadly. Sorry. Shisue said sadly. We have tomorrow. A new one in the team will appear. The daughter of the head moved on to another news. And who is he? Shisue asked. Jinchuriki. Itachi answered shortly. The fox was finally sealed away? Shisue asked. No, the past was found. Itachi replied. Clear. Shisue replied. After a little chat, the friends went home. The next day, Naruto got up early to make a new fox mask. After a couple of tens of minutes, the uchiha finished. The new mask was exactly the same as before the mission. The only thing that distinguished them was the second cutout under the left eye. At 6 in the morning, he went to the residence. When he got to the right floor, he was about to knock, when he heard, how could you let him join the ANBU? It was shouted by one of the village elders, Dan Shimura. You do realize that he could die there, right? The old man still didn't let up. And? Let's reprint in another. Minato replied calmly. Dan's just snorted at this, and left the office. Naruto, turning on the limbo mode in time, hid from the eyes of the old man. Naruto stepped back a little and removed the mode, and then calmly walked into the office. Oh Naruto. You are too early. Minato said. I wake up early. I heard a calm voice in the Hokage's head. Well, my clone will take you to the ANBU base, said the Hokage, and created a clone. 20 minutes later, Naruto and Minato were at the base. After that, the guy was tattooed, given a uniform that he was not going to wear. After that, the Hokage clone dissipated. and Naruto only teleported with the help of Kamui to the residence. But first he quickly put on his clothes and mask. Itachi was already at the residence. Seeing the traitorous mercenary, she shifted her questioning gaze to the calmly sitting Minato. Hokage-sama, what is he doing here? Itachi said, trying to hide her emotions. He is a new member of your team, Minato said calmly. Just then, another girl wearing a dragon mask appeared in Shunshin. Well, since everyone is assembled, then I will give you a mission, Minato said. The mission was S-rank. It was necessary to clear the camp of the robbers, who had appeared recently, but had already managed to stand out. About 2 elite Konoha and 10 Chunin died at their hands, which is not a bad result for the new group. The group contained about 100 people, each of which was at least equal in strength to an average Chunin. All clear? The Hokage asked. Hey Hokage-sama. Itachi and Shisue replied. There were already 3 ANBU, of which only 2 were dressed in uniform. Naruto was dressed as a mercenary. Hey Naruto, right? Shisue said. Naruto just nodded. Let's drop by at Shirku after the mission, and get to know each other, Shisue suggested. We already know him, Itachi said unhappily. The daughter of the head of the clan hated the traitors, so she did not want to work with this mercenary. Naruto, on the other hand, took Itachi's dislike calmly, as he understood that he had acted meanly. He responded positively to Shisue's proposal. Itachi, why do you dislike him? Shisue asked her friend. He is a corrupt rat who, at any opportunity, will sell us for money. Shisue remained neutral towards Naruto as Itachi's words had yet to be backed up by the situation. A couple of minutes later they were there. Well Naruto, let's check why you were taken to the ANBU, Shisue said. You don't have to participate, Naruto said. The guy came out of the woods into the open. Hey, who else are you? One of the guards shouted. The Uchiha only unsealed 2 katanas. Immediately the alarm was raised and 50 people. Everyone immediately attacked the guy. Naruto quickly dodged the blows of katanas and kunes, cut one of the bandits in half with a quick horizontal blow with one of the engraved swords, and ripped open his stomach with the second vertical blow. Shadow clone technique, throwing 2 katanas up. He said the name of the Uchiha technique. 10 clones immediately appeared. The swords thrown a moment ago landed back in the hands of the Uchiha, and the massacre continued. This went on for about 20 minutes. The tiger's chakra was incredibly powerful, yet light at the same time. The expulsion of the chakra took a little over an hour. After hitting the tiger's chakra into Naruto's channels, the guy felt the power. Red marks appeared around his eyes, fangs and claws grew, as if Naruto was oozing Kurama's chakra. The pupil narrowed, and the iris acquired a golden color, although one of the eyes already had it. He felt incredible power. The chakra appeared to be susceptible to senjutsu, and absorbed it automatically, said the fox. But how to cut it out? Naruto asked in a panic as he saw his hand turn into a paw. Just push your chakra, the tiger's chakra, back into the katana. The fox replied quickly. Naruto did just that. It took him no more than a couple of seconds to force out the foreign chakra. So the guy trained until the evening. He could only keep senjutsu chakra in him for no more than 5 minutes, otherwise it would get out of control and start turning Naruto into a tiger. In the evening, the guy left the closet and went to the training ground, where he was supposed to meet with his teammates and another team. Arriving there, the guy saw 5 Anbiru standing opposite each other. The first was a tall man in an owl mask, with a strong build and broad shoulders. He was dressed in ordinary Anbiru clothes. The second was a guy of about 16 in appearance. He had a wolf mask. He himself was no different from his previous teammate, except for height. The third, there was a guy his age. He was wearing a mole mask that did not have slits for the eyes. He himself was slightly pumped up. Next came Shisue, dragon mask, and Itachi, crow or crow mask. Naruto walked over to his team. Hey mole, You and him are the same age. The wolf said. I understand, said the annoyingly cold voice of the mole. Now it remains to determine the opponents. Shisui said. Naruto and the mole raised their hands. Well, it's decided, Flynn said. Naruto and the mole knelt back to back and began to meditate. What is your name? The mole asked coldly. Naruto, I heard the voice of the Uchiha in the head of the mole. Khan. Senju replied calmly. Are you blind? The brunette asked. Yes, and you? Khan asked how he sensed the elusive chakra in the vicinity. Yes. Naruto replied calmly. They're close. Khan said. I need a couple more minutes. The Uchiha said. Fine. Senju answered. Meanwhile, the guys in the trees were contemplating a plan. Is the clone far away? Asked the owl. Yes. The wolf answered. But our boy is not so simple. Areto added. Ours too. Itachi said unhappily. After a couple of minutes, when the plan was drawn up, the ANBU officers began to implement it. Naruto meditated, passing through the 7th gate. The guy sensed the danger, and opened his BMS. Amnejikara, said the name of the brunette's technique, and replaced the attacker with himself. Amnejikara, Jutsu can replace the Vuzer with any object in sight, and if it is a living creature, then it will take its pose. The wolf was on his knees, and the fox was flying at him. The guy quickly hit the wolf in the face, from which he flew off. Meanwhile, the mole fought with all his might against the two Uchihas. The guy easily repelled all attacks, with Daten and Suiton techniques. But they managed to stop him with the help of Genjutsu. Makoten, wood spikes, said the name of the technique. Brown hair and the Uchihas cut off the Genjutsu by jumping away from the boy. Naruto, meanwhile, was restrained with Daten and Suiton, closing his eyes. Two Senju pounced on the Uchiha. The guy easily caught and attacked his opponents. Khan fought off the girls with a Makoten. Naruto noticed that Han was being squeezed, and decided to help him. The guy used Kamui, and moved to the brown-haired. Do you need help? With a smile that was not visible, the fox asked. We're on time. The mole answered. The Senju and the Uchiha teamed up, as did their opponents. Naruto easily blocked the blows, but then the guy in the wolf mask evaporates in smoke. Clone. Naruto quickly turns around, and catches the katana blade. Khan had already put the captain of their squad to bed, and set to work on the Uchiha. The girls again began to push him. Naruto fought Areto, who held up pretty well. Gacetin, methane curtain. The guy exhaled a huge amount of gas. Kato, match. Naruto released some chakra, giving it a fire element when he exited. The whole wall caught fire. Areto that was inside was not protected even by a wall of earth. His slightly smoked body was left lying out of the ground. Kato, Shisui began. Gacetin, gas shield. Naruto released the gas. Fireball. Shisui released the orb just as the wall covered Han. Shisui and Itachi were knocked back by the explosion and passed out. Guys, I plan to write the original. Some stories are frozen due to the fact that it became difficult for me to write them. Let's go back to the original. I plan to write it, but do you want it? Plus who wants, who does not want? I will not abandon these plots, just push them to the background if you like the original. Commentary on Part 14. Here's the new part, I hope it's okay. Part 15. After the fight, Han called Naruto to Ichiraku for a chat. Naruto agreed, since the sword techniques were no longer part of his plan. Now it remains only to bring Amnejikara to the ideal. The guys agreed to meet at 6 in the evening. Meanwhile, Shisui tried to find out from her friend the reason for her dislike of their new teammate. But she tried her best to avoid questions. But since it was impossible to avoid questions, Itachi decided to tell the truth. Once on a mission, I was attacked by Reiga. Naruto at that time was a mercenary. In the end, when he defeated Reiga, he led me to the village, but we were blocked by Iwa Shinobi. Then he sold me to the Ivavit. I returned a little later, since the Hokage-sama, as I understood, could also pay," said the daughter of the head of the clan. "As much as I don't want to believe you, I can't believe you without reason," Shisue replied with a sigh. Meanwhile, Han and Naruto are eating ramen at Ichiraku. "My friend's birthday is tomorrow." Khan started talking. "I'll be glad to see you there. Here's the address." Finished the ANBU, holding out a piece of paper with the address of the Hokage's house. The Uchiha decided to go and meet his peers. That Kurama would start talking about the need for friends, and the guy would have to go. The brunette nodded. "Excellent. Otherwise my father makes me be friends with them. Because of the fact that the clan," Khan said, "should be closer to the Hokage," parodying, "apparently, his father," said the brown-haired woman. "And who is your father?" Naruto's voice sounded in Han's head. "Head of the clan," Khan said with some hesitation. The guy was afraid that he would lose a true friend, that he would respect him not for his kind. What are you doing in the ANBU then, Venerable One?" Naruto said sarcastically. "Well, I was born blind, and my father started teaching me how to use chakra. He taught me sensory. At the age of 5 my predisposition to Makoten was revealed. My father hired me a teacher from the ANBU. He taught me. I said I want to be ANBU. He said, they say, we must ask your father. We went to my father, but he refused, so I decided to ask for help from my older brother Areto, since he was in the elite ANBU squad. He gave me an exam, and told Hokage-sama about it. He agreed, said that no one should tell my father about this. That's how I ended up here." Khan said. "I see. Well, I hope it's fun, because, you know, ANBU missions are too easy." Naruto said casually. "Okay, it's time for me. See you tomorrow." Standing up from the chair, said Naruto and went home. Arriving home, Naruto went into the cave. "Zetsu, can you check the mail hole?" the brunette asked. "Yes." Alo answered briefly, and disappeared under the ground. Naruto began to competently learn how to use a Majikuru. The fox threw stones at him, and the guy dodged using only this ability. It lasted 10 uses. After a couple of hours, the guy started using the Sengen, which gathered information about the new ability. Here are the first 5 stones flying at the guy. Naruto's eye runs around the area, and changes itself into the penultimate flying stone, breaking the last one with his foot. Further, it was more difficult. A dozen stones flew at the guy, each blocking the other, because of which the opportunity to change was only with the first stone. And so, when he switched to the first stone, and hit the second, which disbanded the formation, he used a jutsu on the last stone. "That's all for today," Liz said. "Fine." The Uchiha said, slightly out of breath. Meanwhile, the mailbox was empty. The next day, Naruto woke up as usual at 5 a.m. Washed, dressed, ate and went to Menma's birthday party. After meeting up with Han, Naruto went to the Hokage's house. Entering there, Naruto saw children his age playing shaji. "Who will you be?" Proudly approaching Naruto, and narrowing his eyes, Menma said. "He seems to have amnesia, since he doesn't remember how I slammed him into the asphalt, or did I smash another one?" Naruto thought. "This is Naruto Uchiha. I met him yesterday at the training ground," Khan said, putting on a friendly smile. "Wait, so everyone is talking about you. They say the demon has returned?" The son of the Hokage said with contempt. Naruto just nodded. He frankly didn't care what others thought. Menma shrugged. "Okay," Menma said calmly. "Father taught me to ingratiate myself, and attack a relaxed target." Smiling evilly at his thoughts, Menma thought. Naruto and Han sat on the side of the board, and watched as the son of the head of the Nara clan, the officially recognized pineapple, among his pancake, Shikamaru Nara, tore apart his not very smart opponent Kiba Inuzuka. As soon as Naruto saw Akamaru, Kiba's dog, flashbacks rushed at him. Because Eiko was the same breed, and the same color. He instantly remembered how this guy killed his puppy without a second thought. Naruto activated his Sharingan, but instantly cooled down. Then, on a mission, somewhere in the woods, Naruto thought and continued to watch the game. After the game, they went outside while the adults had just returned from the clan council. Minato saw Naruto, and quickly approached the children. "Naruto, can I have a few words with you?" the Hokage asked with a smile. The boy nodded and followed Minato. After going to the second floor, Minato pestered with questions. "What are you doing here?" Minato asked, looking intently at the boy. "Khan invited." Naruto said calmly. "Calm down. I would have released the fox a long time ago, if something did not suit me." The Jinchuriki continued just as calmly. "Okay." Sighing, the Hokage said. Naruto stepped out into the backyard. They threw kune. "Oh Naruto, would you like to try it?" Khan asked. The Jinchuriki just shrugged, and grabbed the kune. The guy just took, and threw all 10 at once. Each kune hit the bullseye. "Oh, Itachi, will you train us?" Satsuki asked when she saw Itachi. "Okay." Itachi smiled kindly. Then, the Anbidu girl saw Naruto. She instantly changed her face, but still led the children and Naruto to the training ground. There, she simply gave them a set of physical exercises, which only caused a dumb chuckle from Naruto. Everyone started exercising. Itachi sat under a tree and watched as the kids suffered. Once Menma completed the task, he sat down next to Itachi and started trying to flirt, but she just brushed it off. Naruto, noticing this, casually threw a kune that cut off a tuft of Menma's hair. He turned an angry look at the sender. Itachi looked up at Naruto in gratitude. "What you think you are?" asked the Hokage's son. The Jinchuriki just smiled awkwardly and shrugged. Menma, furious at being so disrespectful, charged at Naruto. He just stepped aside. Sasuke rushed towards Naruto, but he placed his hands behind his back, and also stepped aside while yawning. Takashi rushed towards the Jinchuriki. Then all three got up, and again rushed to Naruto, who was calmly drinking jasmine tea. All three rushed at the guy at the same time, but he did a backflip, put the cup under the spilled tea, and took a sip. Kindergarten. Naruto thought as he finished his tea, and smashed a china cup on Menma's face. Han just approached Naruto, and they stood back to back. "Sasuke is mine, I have a score with him," Khan said with a smile. "I do not care," Naruto said, and Takashi was instantly slammed face first into the ground. And Sasuke broke through a tree with his body. She and Khan gave each other high fives and parted ways. Naruto exhaled gas, and released a spark with 2 iron teeth. Everyone saw the 9 tails that twined around the Khan trees. The guys weren't tipped off the next day, as Itachi believed that those 3 needed to be put in their place, and everyone else had amnesia. Commentary on Part 15. Well, new part, new comments, new asset. I talked to a friend, who agreed to write my original. He writes like me, expresses like me, his name is like me, he is a complete copy of me, only with moronic jokes. Well then he is completely my clone, only slightly younger. Part 16. A month has passed. The Uchiha team completed many missions, though they did not even smell of cohesion. Naruto became even closer friends with Khan. They liked to sit in Ichiraku, talking about certain missions. And so, the Uchiha team was sent on a new mission. Everything started out fine. They got to the place, developed a plan, and began to implement it. But they underestimated the enemy, and because of this, Shisuo was badly injured, Itachi used up chakra, and Naruto strained his eyes. A great team that has accomplished many missions together is kneeling before me. And you, Shiroi, how could you sink so low and serve Konoha? The stranger continued with a wicked grin. I wanted to hire you, but are not the same anymore. You indulged the Konohates for some million ria. Instead of killing them for 10 million, the stranger could not finish, because of the katana in his heart. Where's the money? Naruto asked in an angry voice. Where is the money you stole from me? The Jinchuriki shouted, echoing in the stranger's head. Flashback. Naruto was lying on the bed, as usual after the mission when Zetsu appeared. Naruto, someone stole 10 liams from our safe at night. Ella said in a panic. What? Naruto jumped out of bed. Who? The guy asked angrily. I don't know, I cooked food, I thought you would be back in the evening. End flashback. The stranger did not answer. Streams of blood flowed from his mouth. The guy created about 30 clones, and they all started looking for money, while the original rewound Shisu's wounds. After an hour of vain searching, the team went to Konoha. 5 hours later, everyone was at the residence. Okay, everyone is free, except for Naruto. The Hokage said. Hey. Itachi and Shisue replied and disappeared. Naruto, I have a solo mission for you. Minato said. I'm listening to you. The Jinchuriki said. You will go to the academy for. No, Nin, Nit. What else? Naruto began. To identify a traitor. The Hokage agreed. Also, you will have to become a Chunin in order to continue serving in the ANBU. The elders are very aggressive about your position. Finished Minato. Hey Hokage-sama, doomedly say Naruto, and disappeared into the Shunshin. Returning home, the guy threw the mask on the bedside table near the bed, and went into the cave. Naruto, I was able to figure out that a man with blue hair stole our money. Zetsu said. Yes, very valuable information, because there are so few people with blue hair in the world. Naruto spoke angrily. Anyway, it's already something. I was able to find out from a strange fellow. The one with green eyes and red squirrels. He is in your room now. Zetsu said. I understood you. The Uchiha replied, and went to his room. Kakazu was there. Well, hello, Rich. Kakazu said. You know everything about everything. You have eyes, ears and even nostrils everywhere. Naruto said. Yes, so, one of the informants reported your problem. It was revealed that the man with the blue hair is one of the Konoha shinobi. Although his mask was from Otsusuki. Looks like you have spies in there. Kakazu said. Thanks for the info. Let me guess, half of the refund is for you? The Uchiha asked with a smile. 2.5 is enough, I just told my partner. Kakazu said. You know where to find me. The old man finished and disappeared. I remind you that Kakazu was still at the first, so he is an old man. Naruto went to bed, waking up at the sound of an alarm clock. Since he had to go to the Sharingan, he threw him into a stone wall that had just begun his journey as an alarm executioner. Uchiha got dressed and trudged into a Sharingan. On the way, Naruto spotted Han. Where are you going? A question popped into Khan's head. Why, the Hokage sent him to a Sharingan, he says. There is an impasse. Ugh, a traitor wound up. Khan replied. And you? There, for the same. Naruto replied and they went to Sharingan together. Arriving there, they were met by a Chunin with a scar on his nose. Hi, I'm Amino Iruka, your homeroom teacher. Chunin said. I'm Khan and he is Naruto. Khan introduced himself. Well, let's go to class. Iruka said with a smile, and led the boys to the classroom. Upon entering, all the previously unbearable noise subsided. Guys, this is Naruto. He is dumb, and this is Han. He is blind. Treat them with understanding. Amino said seriously, and left the classroom. Everyone immediately started making noise. 10 minutes later, class began. Everyone immediately fell silent. Iruka entered 2 minutes later. The first lesson went smoothly. During the break, some approached Han and Naruto, trying to hurt them, but they did not pay attention. So it went on from day to day. Nothing changed. Sparring was boring. Han showed the maximum of his results, and Naruto did everything on his own. And so 3 years passed at the academy. Commentary on part 16. Here is the new part. I would like to thank all of you. I consider this fic one of my best works. He even grabbed one award. Thanks to all of you. You are the best readers on the whole fic book. Wait for the part. It will be out soon. Part 17. There was a week left before the exam. Everyone was diligently preparing. They taught, repeated, did spurs, and some, more precisely, only a couple of people were sleeping. Naruto was awakened by a loud knock on the door. If this is Khan, then I will kill him on the spot, and not see that we are friends, Naruto said, annoyed by the awakening. Opening the door, the guy saw an Anbu in a dog mask. What do you want? The uchiha asked. Hokage-sama is calling you, the Anbu said and disappeared. Oh really? Said Naruto and went for the cloak and mask. A minute later, the guy was already in the Hokage's office. Summoned? Naruto asked. Yes, Itachi and Shizuya are trapped. They need help, but there is no one to send, Minato said. Naruto disappeared in a spiral. Once in the forest, the guy looked at the eagle, which had already evaporated into a cloud. In the next second, the guy was in the forest not far from the place he needed. And I said that you need to develop the Sharingan. You have enough, only for a couple of techniques, and besides, you strained your eyes too much. The fox spoke. Come on. No, seriously, you are behaving like a big fluffy nanny. I said that. I should have said that. The Uchiha answered the fox and ran. Fox cut off the connection. Naruto ran as fast as he could. Having reached there, the guy saw Ichi lying not far from the wounded Shizuya, that with the last strength, he was protecting his girlfriend from the shinobi, who was preparing to deliver a fatal blow. Enough for a Mitachikara, but you have to fight without techniques. Don't care. Naruto activated his Sharingan, which immediately began to spurt blood. A Mitachikara. The blow from the katana left a deep cut on the mask, and a shallow, but palpable scratch through the eye. Luckily the guy's eyes weren't hurt. Suddenly, Naruto's always slightly glowing right eye went out, and he could no longer see the scenarios. Crap. I knew. Naruto swore and dodged the wind chakra-infused katana. Kurama, give me a drop of chakra. I would like blades. But I won't give it. You should have listened to me. Now get out yourself. I will only help in regeneration. I heard the displeased voice of the fox. Just don't heal the scratch on the eye. It looks great, said the fox Uchiha, and continued the battle. Damn, I'm used to being tactful, the boy thought as he dodged the attacks. What to do? One wrong move, and they will die. That I became attached to them after a month of service with them. Then another blow from the katana flew over the guy, from which Naruto could not dodge. The katana hit him in the stomach, leaving a serious wound. The main thing is to hold out for another 5 minutes. Kurama, don't heal this wound, the Jinchuriki thought as he continued to dodge the blows. This went on for about 2 minutes, until the guy felt a surge of strength. The guy unsealed the katanas, but couldn't release the tiger's chakra due to lack of chakra. A clang of metal was heard throughout the forest. The guy was literally humiliated with powerful blows. Come on, come on. The guy kept repeating in his head. As soon as Naruto felt that the right amount had accumulated, he pushed the enemy away. Gacetin, mustard coffin. A strange white smoke began to appear from the guy's mouth and stomach. Although in real life it is colorless, well, it must be beautifully described, which began to envelop the enemy. The shinobi began to scream in pain. He began to become covered with abscesses and ulcers. Soon the screams stopped, and a corpse disfigured by abscesses and ulcers fell out of the cocoon. Well, something like this, said Naruto and collapsed. The guy woke up in the subconscious. Are you completely out of your mind? The fox screamed. The hero has been found. Let me remind you that you and I are connected. If you die, I will die. And you used a forbidden technique, you know. Treating you from the inside is such a problem. But Kurama, calm down. Your body has got used to my chakra. In 2 or 3 years, I will be able to restore your vocal cords. Naruto just lowered his head, expressing his guilt. Okay, I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. But come on, you will start to train hard. Because your chakra reserves are quite limited. And your eyes require constant work, so that you can calmly use them without fear of such incidents. And finally you will learn think through tactics without relying on Sengen. Now you have demonstrated that without your mega eyes, you cannot even defeat an ordinary swordsman. It's good that mustard gas does eat a lot of chakra, but the body is damaged badly. By tomorrow you will come to your senses. Kyobi kept talking. After that, the guy meditated, increasing the supply of chakra. So he sat for about an hour. Meanwhile, Itachi woke up at her home with Shisui sitting next to her. Awoke? Shisui said with a smile. My head hurts. Apparently I was beaten well. Itachi croaked with a smile. Thank you for saving me. Actually, it wasn't me. It was Naruto. Shisui spoke up. Well, I see. I wonder how much Hokage-sama paid him. The daughter of the head said displeasedly. Hearing this, Shisui's face changed. He received serious injuries, possibly fatal. The Uchiha said seriously. If I were you, I would thank him. For what? For the fact that he received 5 million. Itachi started to get angry. He's just a mercenary, who will defect to another village if it pays more. Well, inform the Hokage about his actions. Shisui started screaming. And why are you protecting him? Itachi asked screaming. Because he is our teammate and my friend. Shisui said and left, leaving Itachi in thought. Commentary on Part 17. I hope you liked it. Part 18. Naruto woke up, and saw Shisui sitting on a chair. Well, how are you? Shisui asked. Yes, it's normal. It feels like a big jackpot was celebrated with a partner yesterday. My head also hurts. Naruto replied. What happened to you? The brunette asked again. Yes, Kamui ate a lot. He spent the last drop on a Nijijakara. The brunette replied. Khan asked me to pass. Shisui said, holding out a bundle. The guy decided to open it at home. You were dismissed from the academy today, the brunette said as she heard the sound of the closing window. Looking at the bed, the girl did not see anyone. That sly fox, Shisui said, and then caught herself thinking. But it's true. Naruto was running through the Senju Park with a feeling of complete freedom, as his joy was interrupted by the foxes. And now he turned 180 degrees, and went to the training ground. All day the guy practiced techniques, increased chakra reserves, studied new techniques, etc. In the evening, the guy returned home, and fell on the bed from unbearable fatigue. Meanwhile, Itachi was thinking over her friend's words. Pav Itachi. And yet, he saved us there. Without him, we would have died, but this does not negate the fact that he is a mercenary. Where they pay more, there he is. Shisui seems to believe him. Maybe visit him tomorrow. Let's talk to him, maybe he's not so bad after all. End of Itachi's POV. The next morning at 7 in the morning, there was a loud knock on the door at Naruto's house. The guy, synchronously with the fox, opened his red eyes from anger and lack of sleep. If that's your fucking friend, I'll rip him apart. Kyobi screamed. It's not him. The chakra is darker, though not by much, the guy answered. Opening the door, the guy stared at the unexpected guest. Hey Naruto. Itachi said. Hi. Did something happen? The brunette asked. Yes, I decided to visit my teammate. The brunette said with a half-truthful smile on her face. Wow. Naruto drawled. Come on. Naruto stepped aside slightly to let the daughter of the head of the clan pass. Itachi walked over, took off her shoes, and Naruto invited her into the kitchen. Nothing like a little house, Itachi said as she looked around the spacious kitchen. Tea, coffee? Naruto asked. HMT. The Uchiha replied. Naruto opened the cupboard, which had about 100 kinds of tea. He took the jasmine one. He himself opened the cabinet a little lower, and took out a bottle of black liquid. Itachi's eyes widened at that. Same. The ink of the octopus, which is found only in the country of water. It costs 30 million. Itachi said in surprise. Yes, about 30 boxes were brought to me by familiar smugglers. Naruto said as he opened the bottle, took a small sip, and then grimaced at the strong acidity of the drink. Meanwhile, the tea was ready. The guy gave tea to Itachi, and he poured himself in a glass of ink. Sounds strange, don't you think? So how do you like the academy? The Uchiha asked. Waste of time. I learned the whole theory at 3, although then the librarian beat me. But it was worth it. The techniques there are worthless. Boredom. The guy answered. Do you remember how you sold me? Itachi asked, slightly annoyed.